How you doing? How you doing? And how you doing, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Petty, and I appreciate you stopping by today. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're enjoying your weekend. I hope you're starting off the new year right. We're going to talk about some things that are having a bit of a rough time in this new year. We're talking about 1.2 bugs. So I hadn't heard too many issues about 1.2 after it came out, mostly because I'm not spending a lot of time on Reddit or in comment sections anywhere, at least not for this game. I'm still fighting with strangers on the internet. It's what we all do nowadays, right? But MiHoYo themselves put out a post today, and this started me, going down a little bit of a rabbit hole. And looking at some stuff. So, real quick, they posted this on Facebook. Excuse me. This morning, just saying, "Dear travelers, the developers have recently discovered an issue with the effect of Zhongli's passive talent, Resonant Waves, whereby when the Jade Shield takes damage, it may not fortify as expected. The developers are working hard to fix this issue. It is expected to be fixed in the update on the 4th, so it's the 2nd today, so in 2 days. We sincerely apologize to travelers for any inconvenience caused by this issue, and they're giving out some primo gems." So this in and of itself isn't a crazy big deal. It's a slight meme because there's more things wrong with Zhongli. So this in and of itself isn't that crazy, and if this was the only thing, we wouldn't really be sitting here doing a video for this. We'd be in and out, 2-second video, bye-bye. But there's a few more issues that people are having. And looking at this post and then going down through and seeing a lot of the comments is what clued me into that there are a lot of issues and bugs that people are having. And it kind of depends on by area which ones you're getting. So a lot of like connectivity issues and like general game bugginess is happening a lot on some of the Asia servers. The connectivity is like... I'm not 100% positive, but I'm seeing a lot of Filipino players or other people in that SEA region that are just having a very, very, very rough time. And their connection rates in other games. And they post a lot of screenshots in this post. You can look it up and go through it all yourself. But that at least seems to be localized. Like me personally, I still have like 24 millisecond ping on my server, but I'm fairly certain I live like less than a state away from where they keep the servers here in the US. So yeah, I should have no problem on that. But it's not just, players from those regions that are only ones having that issue. There's a lot of reports from mobile players that... a lot of phones that are on the newer side running some of the top Snapdragon goodies are having issues. And that this update as a whole was really, really, really hard on mobile players. Some people can't play it at all now or have gone from playing on high settings with no issues down to medium, and there's a lot of lag, screen tearing, issues with falling through the floor. Good time, good stuff. So it's interesting to me to see, and this isn't it. We'll go through and look at some of the other stuff that people are talking about. But it's interesting to me that there is a lot of vocalness from the community, because after seeing the comments here, I went looking around on the MiHoYo forums themselves and on Reddit, and there's stuff's being reported. But this is the only thing that they touch on, which obviously they're probably very aware of some of the other issues and are working on them. But this is the one that they like publicly mention and address. And I think that honestly has to do with the fact that like with characters, they are essentially what you are paying for, excuse me. So if those aren't working correctly or working as advertised, I'm pretty sure there's some countries where then they're going to then fall into issues like the same laws that require them to show the rates and everything like that. Also, for the most part, say like what you have on the sticker has to be what it actually does. or they could potentially get in trouble for that. So I think that that might be the reason why they're giving specific notice with fixing the characters. And then they haven't mentioned any of the other stuff yet, but if they are putting out a patch on the 4th, I'm assuming they're also going to try and slip in some stuff for these other issues that are being reported right now. In with that, and we'll just have to see in 2 days if that's what actually happens with it. But let's take a... There were a few things, like results when I searched. I don't think I can pull it up right now because of how I have the screen centered. But with what I was pulling stuff up in Google, there were a lot of cases with like the MiHoYo forums where the posts on those weren't available anymore. And just after they tried to pull them up and you could see it said article and then would give a number, then it wouldn't be able to pull the post. So not a whole lot about this on any of the MiHoYo forums, and I tried the Wayback Machine to see if we could get, the original posts from any of those archives, and no. But it's a little weird that some of those were getting deleted, but Reddit is not ran by the MiHoYo staff, so there are some on there, but there also have been a few deleted off there as well. But let's take a quick little look at... Nope, I'm not trying to move that. Boy, there we go. You just gotta yell at it a little bit and it'll start listening. Yeah, that looks good. So this is one of the posts where people are going into detail with the stuff that they have, and that it's fairly good, and that they're running into really big issues with the 1.2 patch and basically just Android optimization. And if we go through, look through a lot of the comments, there's a lot of people having the same issues. Few people actually mention that they're having issues on PC as well. Even with the new update, I haven't been playing a whole lot, so I can't give you my personal experience because I'm playing other stuff at the moment. But yeah, there's a good amount of stuff in this community, so I would like to see them actually address some of this stuff, but we might just have to wait until they put out the patch notes. But between some of the stuff that we're seeing on Reddit, this is another one of the posts, and then just there's a lot more. There's about 500 comments on the Facebook post where they mention the issues with Zhongli's that they're promising that they're going to fix because that's top priority. There's a lot of comments and feedback and screenshots and that and everything. So there's a fair amount. Let's see. This one actually mentioned something that was kind of interesting to me, and I'd really love to know where this player is actually from. This is talking about something that I saw more on the Facebook post in a couple of spots. But it's not mentioned as many of the Reddit posts that I've found. But to where it seems like some of the AI in the game is now having some issues. They specifically talk about having issues with Klee's, Klee herself not locking on the things correctly, her ultimate not locking on to things correctly, which if you don't have a Klee is kind of normal. That ultimate, you have to grandpa walk to where you want it, because it will ADHD its way to something stupid real quick, depending on what kind of stuff you are fighting around. So those who main Klee are already kind of aware that her AI is in a super bad place and that her targeting is a little rough. But it seems that these issues are getting worse. And that specifically after 1.2, they were having much more issues with that, or at least new behavior with it. Because again, I think this person's been using Klee for a little while. I think they already understood how she was wonky, and they're exclaiming that, all right, there's new wonk in town. You know what I mean? It was already a little scuffed. Someone came in like a DJ. So, and I'd like to know if this person is, potentially from the Asia server, or it might be, more specifically towards the Filipino ends, where we're seeing a lot of reported issues. Because I don't know whether or not that's just server stability issues, and it having issues processing, or if 1.2 being implemented did break some systems that were already in place. Hopefully it's optimization issues, and when they get those server stuff figured out, that area will have much less of a time and we'll see less of these bug reports. But if it's that when they brought in the 1.2 stuff, things got broken, that's going to be a much harder fix, and some of that stuff might just be with us now. It's super, super common in mobile games to have updates that come in and break things. There's a few games where it ultimately just ruined the game and drove the community away entirely. It's... Oh, God. Why I'm spacing on the name of the one that I was playing for a really long time. Man. Oh. I played that game for entirely too long to be spaced. But it had, like, a MOBA mode and was super fun and interesting. Like, it should have been a gacha game that lived for a very long time, and it had so many issues with every bug, every event that came out, that it just drove players away. And with this being the first, content patch really to come out for the game, if we're already starting to see new stuff breaking systems that were already in place and existing, that's some trouble. Several people throughout both the Facebook and the Reddit posts said something along the lines of like, "Hey, I'm cool if y'all back off the 6-week patch period if you just make sure things are working a little bit better." You know what I mean? So I don't know. Well, we'll see, and we'll see how many of these bugs and issues are resolved. On the 4th in 2 days when they put out the stuff that they're saying they're going to put out to fix the Zhongli resonance issue. And also, one other thing that I wanted to mention that I only saw like 2 people mention, but then couldn't find any other posts specifically for it or any like specific details for it anywhere. But there are claims that certain constellations in the game are broken right now. And if that's true, that's a crazy big problem. Like, that falls into the same line with why they are most likely having to rush to fix the Zhongli thing, with it, tying into the kind of gambling laws, and you have to provide this if this is what you're saying that it is, kind of deal. So if constellations are broken, that is a huge problem. Anything that directly hurts the whale community and hurts them hard is super bad for games. So if it even breaks news-wise that really is happening, that's financially going to impact MeOyo, because some whales will just bounce. So hopefully that none of that's what we're seeing going on, and that the little bit of smoke we're seeing is just from first content patch, bruises, and that things will settle out and won't be as big of an issue. But we'll see. Let me know if you guys are running into any issues that you didn't see us mention here today. I don't really think there's a lot of fixes for anything. I know one thing that is brought up a lot on the Facebook, but I don't really see it mentioned at all in the Reddit, is if you're on PlayStation right now queuing into the event, you're either A, falling through the floor, or B, most likely being murdered before you even load in. There are many people that are upset about that. So if any of you guys are PlayStation 4 players, I'm really sorry. I hope you guys get taken care of soon. I'm not sure how long the event lasts for, but if it's largely unplayable for people until the patch in 2 days... Whew. I'm sorry, PS4 people. Good luck to you. But alright, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by today. We're going to go ahead... and die a little bit instead. I thought we were just going to end the video. No, we're going to end our lives. Jesus. Alright, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by today. You're going to have to catch your boy in the next one, because we're out of here. Deuces.